So on that note, how can homeowners ensure that their renovation projects are completed on time and within budget? Like, what can they do?
I like this. I mean, there's a lot that can be done. In our work, and I actually was just talking to a client about this just yesterday.
Okay.
But in our work, our estimates are pretty accurate as far as what the budget is. If here's our estimate, we provide it to the client, and they are like, okay, this budget works. Our numbers are going to be unchanged unless you have one of two things. Mm-hmm. The first one is going to be change orders.
Yeah.
And that only comes down to if the client is, so we're adding framing or we're adjusting layouts of their home, and they walk in after framing and they're like, after visually seeing this, we want to adjust this. Mm-hmm. We want to move that. We don't like this anymore. Well, that's a change order that would be an additional charge because, of course, that was never part of the first deal. The second part of it comes down to unforeseens and unknowns. So if no one has X-ray vision, I wish I was Superman, but that's never going to be the case. So having the ability to, once we do demo, we can see behind the walls, we can see that if there's issues, we can see if there's rot, we can see that perhaps a previous homeowner did bad electrical in the walls, whatever, plumbing has a leak, you name it. That's going to be the only other time that we're going to get with the client and talk to them, say, hey, this is what we've seen. This is, of course, not listed in the numbers, but this is what it's going to cost to do, and then have them approve. Mm-hmm. Past that, our numbers, I pride myself on making sure that it's beneficial to the client. We keep their budget because I'm not the type of contractor that says, oh, I underbid this, I need another $10,000 for people, or milk a potential client just because of where they live, or knowing that they might, they have to spend more money because now we're halfway through their construction project and now their hands are tied.
Right.
But the other part, as far as schedule goes, is when we do our plans and our procedures and our process, we start after they've approved the estimate and we've signed the contract, the agreement. We've gotten the deposit. We're in that starting lineup of, hey, we're ready to go. We do allocations. So we have specifics on tile. We have specifics on hey, what the number we've started with for a toilet, for cabinets, you name it. And so they have, I like to call that client homework, because it's the ability for them to, or us, help them design, but it's their time for them to go and be able to choose their products and choose their choices, because I usually will toss in, say, $150 for a toilet. Easily you can buy a $100 toilet or you can buy a $1,000 toilet, but right. I need to have a starting number, and the client needs to have a starting number to kind of have a basis.
Are they getting the mid-level, the high level, or are they just going with the very entry level?
Exactly.
So you're going to ask them, okay, on every single part of the project, where do you see this, what kind of product do you want? Okay.
So now, as far as keeping on schedule, the main thing is that it's dependent on when they make those choices or how long those choices are going to take.
Yeah.
And it's also in those choices making sure, because I don't like to start a project without making sure that these products are either in hand or in stock or available to be able to grab. Because
so I was going to ask. So if they're doing custom, I mean, we're going to put in a timeline for that.
Exactly.
Because there's, they're 6 months out. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
And I don't want to tear out a kitchen
choice.
I don't want to tear out a kitchen without knowing that the cabinets and the project is going to be on schedule. So if we're going to tear out cabinets and then we come back, we're 6 months later, cabinets or 6 weeks later, cabinets we're planning on being delivered.
Yeah.
Why would I have torn out the kitchen 6 weeks before? Because then now they're down and out. So our schedule process goes with that. I like to make sure that it's in hand. whether it be on site, whether it be in our storage, whether it be in stock. And then that's when we will then proceed with the actual construction schedule.
Okay.
And so past that, I don't like to overlap any of our crews, whether it be electricians, plumbers, any of those contractors we work with. So we have discussions with each of those crews of saying, hey, how long do you see you needing to do this job? Mm-hmm. And I usually give each phase in about a week timeline.
Okay.
So what that kind of looks like is we're going to do demo, we're going to do groundwork, we're going to do framing, we're going to do plumbing. And that's basically kind of like a line item of, hey, that's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Plumbers here 1 week, the electricians here the next week, HVAC the next week, so on and so forth. Because whether they need 3 days or they got 5 days, they have the opportunity of up to that 7-day mark. With the fact that if they get done beforehand, mm-hmm. then we're good. But if they needed extra time, I'm not having to adjust the schedule, push everyone out, including my timeline and my deadline that I'm hoping to give to the client. So it's worked so far. I feel like it's been a process that has been efficient. The clients like it because I'm able to kind of give them a true schedule that for the most part can be abided by. But then at the same point, everything that is in construction can always be adjusted because that's just how construction